Okay, today we are going to start talking about some angles. Today we're just going to review what the basics of angles are and then talk about two specific relationships that you were supposed to probably talk about in 7th grade, but you probably didn't get to because of pre-algebra, or because of COVID, excuse me. So we are going to talk about some angles. So angles can be classified many ways based on their characteristics. So this is what we're going to spend the next couple of weeks just talking about, is what angles are and the relationships that they have. Okay, so back in elementary school, I think you guys talked about what acute, obtuse, and right angles are. So acute would be anything that is less than 90-degree angle. Okay. Okay, an obtuse angle is anything that is greater than 90 degrees. But also less than 180 degrees. Okay. A right angle is an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. Okay. And usually we notate that with a little box in the angle. Okay. And then a straight angle will be a straight line. And that is when it is exactly 180 degrees. Okay. So we have a little protractor here, and we're just going to kind of talk about how to measure angles. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and F is in the middle, and we have a protractor at the middle. Okay. So first it asks, what is the measure of angles, our angle sign A, F, C? So to do this, we find A, and then we go to F, and then we go to C. So I'm talking about this angle right here. Right? So to measure this angle, we're going to go out to where the measurements are. Okay, I see 0 right here. So I'm going to measure all the way until I see C. Okay, so it looks like it's more than a 90-degree angle. Looks like it is 100 degrees. Okay. What is the measure of angle CFE? So first I'm going to find C, then I'm going to find F, and then I'm going to find E. So I'm talking about this angle right here. Okay. All right, so to do this, we could also go from E to C. Okay, so here's 0. So I'm talking about this angle right here. Okay, and it looks like it is 80 degrees. Another way to do this is you start at C, you start at 100. When you get to E on the top, you get to 180. So you could just subtract them and get 80 degrees. Okay. Then it asks, how are the pink angle, angle AFC, and the blue angle CFE related? Okay, well, right now I notice that they come together to form a straight line. Okay, and I notice that 100 degrees plus 80 degrees equals 180. Okay, and I also see together it's created that line of the protractor. So that straight line right here. Here's the pink, here's the blue. It's created a straight line. Okay. Number 4, what is the measure of angle BFC? So here's B, here's F, and here's C. So I'm talking about this angle right here. Okay. So you can use either the top or the bottom. I'm going to use the top. So at the top, it's at 40. Okay. And it gets to 100. Okay, so to go from 40 to 100, that would be 60 degrees. Okay. What is the measure of angle DFE? So D is right here, F is right here. So we're talking about this angle right here. I'm going to have you guys make your guess. Okay. You could either go from 0 to 30 and say that's 30 degrees, or on top you could go from 150 to 180. This is also 30 degrees. Okay. How are angles BFC and angles DFE related? Okay. Well, they're not really touching or anything, but I noticed that 60 plus 30 equals 90 degrees. So I notice that it creates a right angle or becomes 90 degrees. Okay, so here is the whole point of the front page. If you have two angles are called supplementary. If their sum equals 180 degrees. Okay. Two angles are complementary if their sum is 90 degrees. Okay. So it's kind of, you'll have to kind of memorize supplementary and complementary. I kind of remember that the letter S kind of looks like an 8 and supplementary has 180. Okay. And then I also remember C for complementary kind of looks like a 9, the part of the 9. Not white. So here's the C in complementary and here's the S in supplementary. So that's kind of how I remember supplementary and complementary. Supplementary has an 8 in it, so it's 180, and complementary has a 9 in it, so it's 90. Okay. By writing and solving equations, we can determine the missing angle measure of a complementary or a supplementary angle. Okay. So this is what we're going to spend a lot of the time talking about, is looking at relationships and writing and solving equations. So we are going to review solving equations. So I look at this relationship and I look for two things. I either look for a straight line, okay, or I look for a box. Okay, a straight line means it's going to be supplementary. And if I see a little box, I know that it has to be a complementary angle. Okay, so right here, I see a straight line. What I mean by straight line is like at the bottom, I notice that angle X and 136 create that straight line together. So we would say that these are supplementary, which means together they have to equal 180. So we are going to go ahead and write an equation. This missing angle plus the angle that we know has to be supplementary, so it has to equal 180 degrees. Now we're just going to solve this equation. We need the x by itself, so I'm going to move over the plus 136. Going to do that by taking it away. Okay. And 180 minus 136 would be 44. So because I see a straight line, I know that this missing angle has to be 44 degrees. All right, for number 7, we first have to look at the relationship before we can figure that out. So I look for either a straight line or a box. So I see a box, which means that it is complementary, which means two angles or more angles that make 90 degrees. So we have this little angle X plus this bigger angle 74. And together it has to equal this complementary, this right angle of 90 degrees. Okay. So we're going to move over the 74 with a negative 74, and we get x equals 16, which means that this little angle is 16 degrees. All right, now you guys are going to go ahead and try to write this equation. Look at the relationship and try to write an equation. All right, I see an unknown angle of x, and I also see 58 degrees. Okay, and I look for the relationship. I see a little box, so I know that has to be a right angle, so it has to equal 90 degrees. Okay. Now I'm going to solve it by taking out 58, and that would be 32. So our missing angle would be 32 degrees. All right, now you guys are going to try this one. Okay. All right, I notice this straight line. So I have an unknown angle plus 52 degrees has to equal a straight line of 180. So then I'm going to take out 52 from 180, and I would get 128. So this missing angle is 128 degrees. All right, last two problems. It says Two angles are complementary. One of the angles measures 15 degrees. What is the measure of the second angle? Okay, so I noticed that it says complementary, so I know that that is 90 degrees. Okay, for you visual people, I'm going to create a picture. So complementary, I know it's 90 degrees, and we have two angles, so I'm basically just going to draw two angles. One of the angles is 15 degrees. What is the measure of the second angle? Okay, so we're going to write our equation. X plus 15 equals 90. And then we will solve it by taking away 15. So x equals 90 minus 15, which would be 75. So this missing angle is 75 degrees. All right. Angle ABE and angle DBE are supplementary. So I know that they are supplementary. Just knowing based off of that, supplementary should be 180 degrees. So I'm going to draw this picture. So angle ABE. So ABE. And angle DBE. I notice that B and E are right here. So I'm just going to kind of draw D right here. Okay, so I'm just going to make this, again, angle ABE and angle DBE are supplementary. Okay, if the measure of angle ABE is 61 degrees, what is the measure of angle DBE? Okay, so go ahead and try to write that equation. Okay, so I have an unknown angle plus 61 degrees, but it does have to equal a straight line or supplementary. Okay, now I'm going to subtract. 180 minus 61 would be 119. So the unknown angle is 119 degrees. All right, I'll see you guys later.